Hey Finxter, what's up? It's Chris, founder of Finxter.com, and in today's video you're going to learn about the Python division operators. And there are some very important details I think you should know as a programmer, and I have seen many even intermediate level Python coders who actually don't know about these differences. And a short story, when I did my research in the research institute, I at one point, because of such an integer division mistake or error, actually I was assuming that the simple division operator performs true division. So 4 divided by 2 is 4 divided by 3 is 1.33333, something. I assumed this was a result of the operation, but it actually performs integer division. This was back then in Java, and it took me like a week or so to figure it out. So it was really hard to to actually find this small bug, because I just assumed, I couldn't figure it out what was the problem of the code, and it took me a week or so. And if you want to like save your time and become a more efficient, more skilled coder than I was, then check out this video. Okay, so let's dive right into the division operator. So in its most basic form, so say we run Python 3 on our computer. So this is actually the version I run. It's an outdated version still. I have to actually install a newer version of Python in my environment, in my virtual environment, but I think it's fine for now to actually show it to you. So if you divide 40 by 11 using this double backslash operator, this is called integer division, then the result is 3. So it actually, it is called integer division or floor division, because it performs the true division, which is like 3 point something, and then it just rounds down to the next integer number. So it performs a floor function. That's why it's called floor division or integer division, because the return value is an integer value, right? And so in any case, either if you are running Python 2 or Python 3 or any newer Python version, you can always use this double backslash operator to perform integer division. But if you want to perform the true division, so you want to like really get the result of the operation 40 divided by 11, you can simply use the single backslash operator, and this then gives you, it always returns a float value, right? And this was different in Python 2.1 and before. So in our Python 2.1 version, it was actually different. So you can, if you use this single backslash operator in those versions, it would actually give you it would actually perform integer division in some instances. And so, for example, even if you perform this one, 4 divided by 2, so you throw in 2 integers, now it actually gives you a float value back. So now the newer version from Python 2.2 plus and Python 3 as well, if you put in 2 integers, you get still back a float value if you perform if you use the integer division operator, the single backslash. Okay, so single backslash is float division, double backslash is integer division. So far, so good. Let's maybe have an interesting example where we actually try to override the division operator in Python, and this can be done. It is also this is also a common source of errors, because so say we have a class number, and the class number has one attribute x. So we set self.x to x in the constructor. So now we can create a number, say it's number 42 and your number 21, something like this. Okay, and now what I want to accomplish, so I first write the overall structure of the program is perform my divided by your. So I want to actually divide my custom data type, and I want to use integer division and floor division. But of course, if I run the program, it actually tells me unsupported operand types for the single backslash operator, and then it simply raises the exception and it stops the program. So this doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Because it's a custom class, and Python doesn't know what is the definition of the division operator on my custom class. So I have to actually tell Python how to accomplish this. And what many people who are like intermediately level skilled do is to actually try to override the div operator. So they know this magic method idea, so you can override the magic method. And for example, with if you want to override the multiplication magic method, you would override dande mal. Dande for double underscore, so it is enclosed in this double underscores, and they would use mul, so mal. And if they wanted to override the addition operator, the plus operator, then they would override dande add. And so they argue, okay, now I want to override the division operator, so I need to override dande div. And then they, for example, return something like self.x divided by other.x. We now assume that our attribute x is actually an integer value, so we can use the single backslash operator on those data types, basically. Okay, and now if you run the code, it still gives me unsupported operand types for single backslash. So why is that? Why doesn't it work now? So because we would have expected, okay, now we have actually overwritten the dande div method, so the magic method. So why doesn't it work? And the reason is that you need to not override the div dande method, but either the floor div dande method or the true div dande method. And this is actually the difference between, so this one would be like float division, but you can redefine the semantics of the float division, obviously. So true division would be float division in our integer example, and floor div would be simply the floor or integer division operator, right? So we divide and then we round down to the next integer, to the next whole number. But I mean, your custom number class doesn't necessarily know about integers. It doesn't necessarily hold integers, so you can define your own division semantics. So that's why they use the term floor division, because it's more general than integer division, right? Integer division is only tailored towards this integer data type. So these are the mathematical or more formal terms for those types of operations. So we have floor division and true division. And now if we run the code, you see it suddenly works. Yeah. So in both cases it gives us the same result. Why? Because for floor division and true division, actually we use the single backslash. So now let's override the floor division operator with this double slash, and now we actually perform what we wanted to accomplish, right? So now this works, but now we would expect that our return value should actually be a number, right? So it shouldn't be an integer value, because if we divide two numbers, we actually expect that the return value is also a number. So we wrap it with this number constructor, and now we cannot simply. So maybe let's run the code to show you. Now it gives me these really bad representations of my numbers. So we need to define another magic method. Let's call it wrapper. I could also override the string, would probably be better. We return self.x as a string value, converting it to a string. Okay, so now if you run this, we actually get our representation, and we can also maybe add a number prefix to it, so that it really we really see that the result is actually a number object. Okay, something like this. Okay, so you see these dande method or magic methods, they are really powerful. They allow you to customize the behavior of your Python objects. And in the division case, you should not override the dande div method, because this worked for Python 2 something, but for Python 3 actually, the newer versions of Python, you should use the floor div and true div magic methods, which makes intuitively sense, right? Because you have different behavior for those two different operators, a single backslash, a single front slash, and a double front slash. Okay, so thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something out of it, and see you in the next video. Bye.